Hey, Mills here, Agoraphobic news, this time with Mr. Pete Sandoval of Terrorizer, ex-Morbid Angel. Hello, sir, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing very well, thank you.
Where are you right now? Are you
I
in...
am in Tampa, Florida,
Awesome,
in my
awesome,
in my hometown, United States, Florida.
awesome, man, the capital of death
Yeah,
metal.
right. Yeah, yeah. Where are you calling from?
I'm from Serbia.
Serbia.
Yeah,
Wow, that's a long ways from here, huh?
yeah.
Hey, that's
Uh,
cool, man. It's good to talk to somebody from Serbia, man.
yeah, awesome. Can you recall your last time in Serbia, 2008?
Oh, so that was one of the last, pretty much some of the last shows I did with them. Because following that, I had my back surgery and stuff, and I couldn't play anymore because of my back surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So we played in Serbia. What was the name
In
of the
Belgrade in
because it must
2006,
have
I
been.
think.
All right, cool, man. Hey, man, I like Serbia soccer, man. I watch when they play the World Cup. I follow Serbia, man. Yeah, they always, qualify to the World Cup, and they're not bad.
I hate I hate Serbian football because it's so bad. I think that,
Yeah, right. Because there's so many good teams. You know what I mean? Other good teams like
yeah.
ever. You know what I mean? So it's hard. England, Spain, Portugal. You know what I mean? And you name it.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's great, man.
And you guys have just released a new album. It's called Caustic Attack. Can you tell us something about it? How did you form a new lineup and all stuff?
Oh well, the new lineup, right? Every album has had its own different lineup. Absolutely. Well, right after the Horse of Zombies, of course, I couldn't do anything.
Hmm.
That was the main reason why we did the album, and then I couldn't tour. I was still recovering from a back surgery. I was going through very bad,
Hmm.
hurtful pains back then after the album. So I didn't even think I was gonna come back. I was gonna come back and play anymore. It was over for me, just pretty much. But then on sometime at the end of 2013, early 2014, I got together with Lee Harrison, and we spoke about why don't we jam some of the older Terrorizer songs from World Downfall. He knew the whole album, but we started jamming a few songs. Since I have a studio in my house, I mean a practice place where I got my drums and where we practice. And that's how everything started. We started jamming the old album, and suddenly we had a band there because we had to do some parties and a few shows. The follow after that, so we had to get Sal Molina vocals, of course, and bass, which who Harrison, he knew him from before because he had to play for Monstrosity, of
Uh-huh.
course. Lee Harrison saw the band. So we started playing, and then we started doing big shows, like big festival stuff with this new lineup. But in the meantime, we were working on the album, you know what I mean, on many ideas. We were writing songs for a new recording, and then this came out, man.
Yeah, and what was it like, to have basically you have two drummers in a band, but Lee Harrison is playing guitars. Is he contributing to some drum patterns on the album, or it was all?
Yeah, I would say so because yes, because he's a drummer, he's a guitar player, so it's much easier for him, and it's a saving of time. Like when he put a lot of rhythm in the drum beat, that he used a machine for a basic, like, for skank beats and blast beats. You don't need
Yeah.
any special drum beats. You can program that in minutes. Like taka 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 taka
Yeah.
taka 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 pa 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 and brrr and rolls and all that. Right now, technology is so huge that you can do that, and it will sound like almost like a drummer. So he contributed on the songwriting, writing, but also we all contributed because we jammed together in my place, and thus we recorded many drum beats. We
Uh-huh.
recorded a bunch of rhythms and with drum beats, tons of drum beats. He just asked me to play all kinds of drum beats, from grindcore, skank, rolls, everything. So he knew how to put everything together. So when he brought all that home, he started writing some material around him, some riffs and stuff and rhythms, and he started writing the patterns of songs, and then he will show us two or three rhythms together, and then we'll make some changes here, here or there, and pretty much Lee had a lot to do. He put a lot of these songs together before we recorded it. Obviously, because it was easier for him, and like I said, he had a bunch of drum beats already, a bunch of ideas. He's someone that picked up a bunch of ideas real quick. He's very smart on that, and that shows with his latest Monstrosity album.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of changes and technical stuff going on there. But yes, Terrorizer is another story because it's like a grindcore pretty much, and it's all on your face, whirlwind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it is from beginning to end, and no leads, no nothing technical. A lot of catchy riffs, I think, and and this album is it's a lot of dynamic. It's very distinctive. It's got changes, a lot of changes. Like the
Yeah.
song, one song doesn't sound like the other song, even though I do a lot of drum beats like skanks and blast beats. It doesn't mean that the songs will sound the same. You know what I mean? It's got a lot of variety of changes and tempos that we use on this, and that's why we have 14 tracks. You know what I mean? A lot of them to experiment, and that's the reason why this album is kind of like a mixture. It's got like some grindcore songs, more with the grindcore vein, and then it's got a little bit of a death metal feeling type of extreme songs, but everything is fast. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, it's got its slow parts, but it's mostly like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything
I
everything
like
is fast. It's gonna have its fast parts.
I like it because it has like thrashy groove elements, death metal, grindcore, all mixed together.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was saying exactly. It's a variety. It's got more variety. It's not just one thing and one, you know, straightforward thing. It's not. It's got its tempos and speed. Some songs are a little faster than other ones, and the tempo is very tight too. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
Awesome, man. And when did you how did you meet Jess Pintado for the first time? I mean, can we move to that period of Terrorizer? The
Going
beginning.
back, uh, you mean going back to the early days, right?
Yeah, yeah,
The,
of course.
the early roots, the root from Terrorizer roots.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Jesse was playing with Oscar Garcia already
Mm-hmm.
in a band. I recall it was called Unknown Death. That's what they call themselves.
Uh huh.
No, Unknown Death, and that was Jesse, Oscar Garcia, and somebody else on drums, and a bass player that I can recall either.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, a friend of mine knew them, and I was playing. I was starting to play it actually. Those were my early years because it was back in 19 was early
Six.
'86
Yeah.
or late '85. when I started to jam with them. So my friend introduced me to them because I was playing with some dude, you know. I was writing just some basic music, but I was very heavily influenced by thrash, by early thrash metal, like the early Slayer, early Metallica, Kill 'Em All, Show
Awesome.
No Mercy, uh, and some of these European bands like the Endless Pain from Creator, even Hellhammer, you know what I mean, and
Yeah.
Exciter from Canada back in 1983. So I was always looking for underground. That was in me already. So I was playing the kind of music. I was trying to play, faster than the Slayer beat, making it twice, and that's how I started doing the blast beat already with
Awesome.
1 foot. It wasn't as fast as it is now, as I got it to be, but um, what happened is I went in a audition for them because they were looking for a drummer because they were having problems with their drummer, and audition for them, and I just played some music, some beats, and I did a lot of skank and blast beats. And even though they were not playing that kind of music, they were not acquainted with that, even though they were influenced by Repulsion and Master, those kind of bands.
Awesome. Awesome.
They didn't know anything about like the blast beats yet. Until I started, they see me playing, they saw me, and they go, wow, they like this, so they started writing all these terrorizing riffs around all these drum beats that they
Awesome.
that they saw me doing, and that's how we met together. And then, but we didn't have a name yet because they were not gonna keep themselves as a known death. For like a month or two, we called ourselves Decomposed, but then, it didn't last for long because right after that, we changed it into Terrorizer. I think it's like used to be one of the songs from Repulsion early albums. Terrorizer, it's
Yeah.
called
Awesome, man.
song also, and that's why they got the name Terrorizer, and that's how we named the band Terrorizer, and we met, and that was the whole beginning.
Yeah, and I mean, was Napalm Death the influence for Terrorizer as the band was, going?
For Jesse and Oscar, perhaps. For me, I had never heard any of those bands because I had never heard Repulsion or Napalm Death or Morbid Angel or Death, or I wasn't very much, into death metal. I wasn't very, knowledgeable with that.
Yeah.
It was just pretty much hardcore and speed, and back then was pretty much black speed metal, which was Slayer. You know what I mean? Slayer and some Dark Angel. You know what I mean? And I mean, even Possessed was happening back those days, but Possessed was a little bit kind of different. Destruction was another band. I got influence of another one was Killers from Iron Maiden.
Awesome, awesome.
Killers was a great album that influenced me a lot with some of the drum beats that I used to put on the songs, early songs, Terrorizer songs, because they had a lot of quick beats on that album, on the Killers album. And yeah, man,
So
that
basically, you were influenced by these thrash metal bands from United States and Germany, right?
right. Sodom, Creator, Battery, that was happening back those days. Those big bands from over there, still underground music, back those days. And I was influenced, but as far as drumming, I was more influenced by Dave Lombardo, Slayer, Show No Mercy, and Hunting the Chapel, of course,
Awesome.
and then Metallica, Kill 'Em All. I was heavily, that's what got me into playing the thrash beat, the skank thrash, taka taka taka,
Yeah.
the those albums. So from there, it was from me up to me that I wanted to bring this beat twice as fast. You know, the taka 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 taka, make it pa 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 pa
Yeah.
pa pa. I mean, ta 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 ta, which is that's the blast beat. You know, it's like a double the speed of taka 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 taka
Yeah,
taka
of
taka
course.
taka taka. No. So, what I mean, are you sure you want to quit Skype? No, 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 no. Cancel it.
And
All right.
I mean,
Yeah. Hmm?
who created this album cover of World Downfall? Because I think it's really great one. It's
I
kind of
don't even know. I don't know who created it or who came up with. I have no idea. Those guys know, the early guys.
uh-huh.
It's too bad that Jesse's gone to ask him, but I
Yeah. I
want
mean, I found some name that the guy from Earache, Martin Nesbitt, but I'm not sure was it him or not.
probably because even though he will say there who the artist is,
Yeah, and
I mean, I think we picked it. You know what I mean? I think the band, regardless, the band is gonna pick it up at the end. You know what I mean?
uh-huh, uh-huh.
You know, the band is gonna agree with it, and eventually, obviously, they did agree.
Yeah, and you know, on this album cover, you have like mujahideens, hostages, nuclear power plants, factories, and Margaret Thatcher, etc. So, how scary were the 80s regarding the political situation? Because whole album is like in this Cold War kind of thing with nukes and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
mean,
and the cover too, right? The cover of
yeah,
the
yeah,
album. I mean, the cover with the planes attacking the city and just war and soldiers, because actually that's what's happening in the world right now. We
yeah,
don't
yeah.
see it here in the United States. It's not happening, but over there in the Middle East and other places, all these things are happening, and bombings and cities being destroyed, and families and innocent people dying, and there's this is the things and worse things are to come anyways. This is just the beginning, bro. This is nothing
And
compared to what's to come. Okay, so this is just an example of what's going on in the world, the reality of things that are happening in the world. And those three dudes, you know, the skeleton face dudes, they with the suits, they represent like the leaders, you know, the ones that control all of that, the
mhm.
power, you know what I mean? Because they're gonna be there's these people out there that have the power of everything. They have the most money, respect, and the ones that control everything. And that's what these guys are, you know what I mean? The guys that just the guy that the people that just are want the power, you know, power and fame and power. So
Yes,
that's what that represents. And the other thing is war and victims, and it's reality, and worse things are to come anyways. Like I'm saying, uh, the next things are gonna be like things from because of this, you know, because this is man cause wars.
yeah, yeah,
It's not like man is causing all this bullshit. There's somebody behind all this. This about power. It's about politics. You know what I mean? Uh, uh, Russia, the guy want to protect the president for Syria, even though he has killed so many of his own people. You know what I mean? With the gas that he later unleashed. But anyways, man, uh, these things are you know are just like the beginning, because you know are just man made, like man is ruining a lot of other things, the ocean,
yeah.
right? A lot of oil spills, a lot of bunch of shit that's happening in the ocean that we just hear about it, but you don't know the damage and the destruction that causes, not just to nature, but also to the species that live there, to the living species. You know, all the fish,
Yeah, I
everything
mean, with
dies
all the
there,
plastic, all the plastic in
and
the
then
ocean.
the trash, yeah, trash. And that's human, human, human. So you know what's coming next? And we ask ourselves, oh, why this, why that? Well, we are killing that. We are making it happen. We are destroying ourselves. It's man the one discussing all this, everything, all this thing, because everybody wants power. Everybody, under any circumstances, they don't care, man, who's gonna pay for it. And that's why there is the wrath of God. And what's happening?
Yeah.
When I say the worst things are coming, well, there's gonna be the big earthquake, dude. This earthquake is gonna take like, for us, it's gonna take like the whole California section. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a big tsunami that's gonna cover all Florida, man, of water.
So you're
You know,
basically
all
afraid
things are
that.
coming up, which is nature, but what is nature controlled by God? In my opinion, God controls everything. He controls nature. He controls everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, is the wrath of God. Yeah. Because men don't they don't care about God. They don't want to know about God. They want to do it their way, and therefore they are destroying the earth. They're making it a waste, and a lot of us are suffering the consequences with the poison in the food and
Yeah,
the air that we breathe. And men just want power and power. Why things are coming? I'm gonna keep, talk about anymore about that thing, but I'm
yeah.
telling you, man.
And who was writing the lyrics on the first album,
The,
World Downfall?
on the first album was more like between Jesse and Oscar, I think.
And they were into politics, right? I mean,
They were into politics too, as you can tell. They were into government, anti whatever, you know what I mean, anti harming, you know what I mean,
and,
organizations harming humans and you know what I mean, animals, all the stuff. What we all want to stand for, the reality of things, the truth, and not just some fantasy.
and
Because
were they influenced by
are,
hardcore bands, or
are, huh?
were they influenced by hardcore bands in terms of lyrics? Because the hardcore scene was really politically charged back in the day.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
Wow.
how did David Vincent get into picture on that album? I mean, how did he join the band?
Well, I mean, David was never in the band beginning with, because he was in Florida with Morbid Angel,
Mm-hmm.
and they had, both Trey and David had heard the demo, of course, one of the demos, Terrorizer demos, and that's how they found me. That's how they got me.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, but the thing is that when we recorded since they were fans, they loved Terrorizer, especially the early material. They knew and they loved it. So when we flew Oscar Garcia to Florida and Jesse, to do their job, Oscar was pretty much supposed to do the bass part,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he just wanted to concentrate on the vocals. So
And
therefore, we asked David there, since he knew the songs, he was a fan of Terrorizer, if he wanted to do the part, the bass part
yeah,
of the album, and that's how it happened. But it's not like he was like some people think that he came from Terrorizer too. No, 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 no. He was just
he was
always a sideman.
yeah, he was like kind of a session musician for that album, right?
A session musician. That's what he became because, like Terrorizer never toured.
But
So
why didn't you have any tours with that band? I mean, with Terrorizer back in
we did shows early when we had demos before we did World Downfall. Before
the.
we recorded the album, we just did some shows in LA, small shows like backyard houses, shows, parties, and that's all you can do. You know what I mean? Just play like maybe once or twice a month, and there was nothing going on for us. The scene was dead.
Yeah.
Nobody cared for the underground scene, and Terrorizer for being the way they were. You know, the way they play grindcore heaviness. It was totally underground, more underground than many other bands, because other bands were at least like more technical, you know, death metal, thrash death metal bands from those days that we did gigs with. But okay, that's why we didn't do shows, because we were not big.
Yeah, of course.
Nobody liked grindcore back then, so we just did whatever we did, and that's why reason why we ended up. I ended up with Morbid, and Jesse ended up
Yeah.
in Napalm Death, because Terrorizer was not doing anything. After the album, we couldn't do anything because Jesse was with Napalm Death, and I was busy with Morbid.
Of
So
course.
we never toured. We never had time to get together and practice to tour for the World of Downfall. So that just became a myth, a legend. Then we recorded the next album because we had talked with Jesse. Hey, why don't we do an album for years?
Yeah.
We had planned to write an album, and then suddenly we did that one. And then, unfortunately, he died a few months after that or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, due to his heavy drinking, whatever. But anyways, then we couldn't tour for that album either, because I was still with Morbid Angel. You know what I mean? And then, you know, then I do Hordes of Zombies. I had the problem with my back, and that's why I couldn't tour with more with After Hordes of Zombies, because of I didn't even know I was gonna come back and do another album, to be honest with you, or I didn't even think I was gonna come back and play live again.
Yeah. And
But
did
I
you?
got better. Obviously, I got better, and we did now. I told you already how I met with Harrison. You know what I mean? And we did now this, and I'm going for it. I'm not gonna tell you I am 100%, recovered, because it's not the truth. I still gotta take care of myself, especially with the age. You know what I mean? The older
Yeah.
you get, the you know what I mean, the weaker your bones and muscles become. So the more we gotta take care of ourselves. So that's what we are now, man.
Yeah. And so you basically had back problems because of your drum playing, or was that?
Yeah, with Morbid Angel, because I forced it too much in the beginning. I forced my left side because
Yeah.
I didn't know how to play double bass when I joined the band. And in 2 months and a half, they had some shows in North America.
Hmm.
But that was 1988. So I had to learn, and I joined on July something, July 4th. But I didn't know how to play double bass, so I had to learn double bass within the time frame that I had, which was like 2 or 3 months. And that's where the problem started, because I pushed too much from the very beginning, and I kept on pushing all my life until I ran out of disc,
Yeah.
and I couldn't play anymore. I had to get the surgery, man. This is where the main problem. I was pushing too much with my left. I push on my left side so much on my lower back, because I have a left lower back problem.
Yeah. And are you
Due
happy
to,
with? Are you happy with your legacy that you left behind with all of this crazy drumming? I mean,
yeah, because I did something, that a lot of people appreciate, and I mean something for a lot of people, and it helps a lot of other people too. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I think so. I should feel proud about it. Even though my beliefs have changed, my brutality, extreme frame of mind doesn't change. I'm as extreme as I can be. I want to keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
And
can you share the story about your this drum solo on the Heretic album? I mean, how did that happen?
Well, that happened like just like I didn't even write it before, and it was something that I just tried at the studio. I had a chance a couple of times there, a few hours, and then I recorded it. I recorded it a couple of times, and we picked the best time, and it was something more that happened naturally. You know what I mean? It
Hmm.
wasn't planned. It wasn't written down. You know what I mean? Like the beats that I was gonna write, I was playing along with whatever was coming into my head.
And what is like your favorite Morbid Angel song? Do you have some favorites?
Well, I like some of the songs from Domination. I like Dominate. I like Rapture was a great song to play live. Pain Divine, some of the songs. There were some good songs, some formulas, some good songs on Heretic. But that's it, man. I had a few other ones, but I'm not even gonna mention them because they were too like satanic over the,
Uh-huh.
top.
Yeah, and my favorite is probably Die Kingdom Come because the double bass. I,
For that time, that there was no triggers either. You saw like doesn't sound so perfect, but it's more natural.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing drum parts. And
Right. Thank you, man.
how important was Altar of Madness for your career?
Also, some Madness became like like a classic piece
Hmm.
for not just for us as musicians, but for a lot of other bands and tons of fans. You know what I mean? It became like a pretty much classic art, a classic piece of music art. I mean, for the time that it came out,
Hmm.
and it changed our lives. Yeah, because it changed also the direction for death metal. It gave more, opened more ways for many other bands. And that's how many other bands started to come. you
Do you
know
have some final words for our listeners?
to all the fans, I hope to come to play, there soon, man. It's been a long time since I've been to Serbia, but
Yeah, yeah.
a, a big hello to all the fans from Serbia, and I can't wait to meet you all. I know you guys have a big crowd there, and
Yeah.
amazing. So please help us to come over. It depends on you guys. Depends on you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that would be great, to see Terrorizer live here.
Yes, and we're ready to do it, my friend, with this new album.
So thank you so much for this interview. And
All right, no problem, my friend. No problem, man. It was my pleasure, man.
so have a nice day, man.
Hope you too. You too have a great day too, my friend. Bye bye.